Wonder if there's any news on Notion. Share buyback. Let's see. Okay, we'll just keep this on watch for now. Notion. Honestly, JCY probably can't and won't be any place. The moves are just too small. For the amount of volume he's pulling in, he pulled in 135 mil yesterday, but the size of the move is so small. Then gloves on a slight sell-off now. Testing descending resistance. So we gotta wait for a higher low to form first. Most probably won't trade this as usual. Not much interest in trading gloves now. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's gonna be much movement this morning from any of the stocks that were running yesterday. Most of them look very, very, very muted. So let's just see. What pops up on our screener in the first few minutes of the day. Because really not much is showing up right now. So Euro looks like it's gapping up and probably gonna run again. But that's fine. We had to go up, up, up. Because the higher it goes, the harder it would dip. And we just move our alert up non-stop. We just keep trailing our alerts so that we are always ready when it wants to dip and we're ready to catch it. So how Supermax? Slight gap up, but still weak. Oh, JCY with a big gap down in the morning. Quite a significant gap up, basically cleared out all of yesterday's gains. But we're not gonna bother. The price action is just too small. Let's see, Euro. Very thin orders on Euro continue to slowly push upwards. Supermax break below 662, 660. Where's the next support level? Next support level 641, 626, and around 613. So those are some decent sized sells. But price is too choppy. No interest. Euro shooting up all the way to 520 already. Almost 520. Touched it for a second. So Notion, where are the technical levels? First resistance is going to meet 102. And then potentially 106. And a big resistance around 125. So again, another relatively quiet day. Very soft open to the morning. Barely any volume on any stocks. Notion trying to break yesterday's close, 995. But it seems that there's a lot of resistance on the way up. No significant points of resistance. It's just very thick orders up till 105. That's the first resistance it's going to hit. Looks like 102 is slightly heavy as well. Very choppy. Up a bit, down a bit, up a bit, down a bit. See how Euro is doing. Euro even worse. So, top gainer of the day, MTAG. Let's have a look. MTAG. Anybody else that catches my eye? Everything else looks pretty standard. MTAG, small stock, kept up a bit. Very little price action over the past few days. Looks like a very weak stock. No significant moves over the past few days, so not interested. So Notion is slowly building its support. Maybe we can see if we could see a push up to 105, 106, and then a retracement, consolidation into a breakout, maybe. That's the sort of price action I want to see. Move up to 105, 106, pull back, hold above $1, flat and up. So let's see if we can get something like this on Notion. Supermax recovered a little bit, but there's gonna be a lot of resistance to fight through over the past few days. 680, probably a lot of resistance at 7-ish. 710, 720. So it's gonna be tough for him to push back up. So the rejection is starting at 102, which was its nearest resistance. About early December, it hit the pivot at 102. But that will mean that if it breaks 102, it will still have to fight 105. So not ideal. Because we all saw, you can see that there is a huge chunk of orders to clear at 105. So if we were to get into any trades around 103, it will still have to break 105, and it's just not perfect because there'll be two resistance to break through again. Euro just chilling. No volume at all. 187,000 volume. So it looks like most of the small cap gloves are taking the screeners today. Air Plus, Rubberex. Yeah, these are so choppy. Just gonna avoid those. Not much interest. Let's bring up K Power. We caught a breakout on K Power yesterday morning, and then early afternoon / late morning, it tried to break out again, but such a sad fake out here. Right now, it's still all-time high, still near its all-time high, 247. So Notion could build up into a nice breakout. But we saw a huge resistance, 105. But if they can pull enough volume to push through 103, I think it should be able to clear 105 without much issue, because the volume you can see at the bottom here is building up like hell. There's so much volume coming in. Very, very strong volume coming in. Already up to 17 million volume within the first 10 minutes of the day. So this would be our strongest contender for now. Everything else just looks very, very soft, very quiet. Not much potential to do much. So Supermax rejecting around the 680 level already. I mean, it could very well just slowly staircase up throughout the whole day. Slowly go up 5 cents, come down 2 cents, go up 5 cents, come down 2 cents. That's what it likes to do. Something like this. Up a bit, down a bit, up a bit, down a bit. Rubber is glowing, not waiting for anyone. But again, these kind of stocks, since they are all in the same glove industry, if one moves, you need all of it to move. So the dynamic is slightly different. You got to play the industry rather than the individual stocks. Now, another stock that has been running a lot recently is right here, this one. Great Tech. This one is like the silent runner. Look, it's been on a constant uptrend over the past like 6 months, 9 months. Every day it's just moving up slightly, slightly, slightly. Like the week on week is crazy. Every week it's basically green. Now the issue with this kind of stocks for me is that there's no breakouts, there's no clear breakouts, there's no clear dips, right? It's very hard for me to find my kind of trades in a stock like this. That's why I usually ignore all the tech stocks. It's quite hard to play all these low float tech stocks, because this kind of price action is very hard for me to fit into my strategy. Sure, you could use like a 15-minute chart and then let's say buy the 15-minute breakout, right? Buy into this breakout right here, and then hold on the 15-minute chart until you see it cross like a moving average or something. But it's not suitable for my kind of trading. Well, Notion breaking down below the 1 ringgit level, so chances of it coming back up not likely, but I wouldn't say it won't happen. I think it's just not likely anymore usually. Again, another slow morning. So we have to sit back and just wait. Wait for the opportunities to come. You don't want to force any trades because that would just make you lose money. And losing money on dumb trades in these kind of slow markets is painful because you don't have any opportunities to make it back. And then on a more volatile market, you can take more shots because you know that if you lose, there will be an opportunity not far from, not too far away lah, and then you can catch it to make it back. But in these kind of markets, right, my goodness. So I think whenever markets are still like this, right, I'm just gonna go and look at forex. Just gonna run through a few currency pairs. So I've been trying my hands on forex over the past 2-3 weeks with very basic stuff, just support and resistance levels. Yeah, slow market, dude. But I mean, there's nothing you can do lah, right? If the market is slow, the market will give you what it wants to give you. If the market is slow, then the market is slow. You have no choice. But as a trader, when the market is slow, to technically win during times like this, you have to not lose, right? Winning in these kind of markets is protecting your capital and not forcing any trades. I mean, that's one thing that you have to learn if you want to be a trader, especially in Bursa, is that markets have its cycles. And when the market is very cold, the best thing you can do is to just not trade. Protect your capital. Protect your capital. That would be your goal. That would be your number one goal at all times. Right? And if you're the type of person who looks at these kind of markets and think, oh my god, I'm so bored, I don't want to trade anymore, then yeah, just stop trading, man. Then trading is not for you. Go back to your 9 to 5. But if you want to do this long term and be profitable long term, you have to understand that this is a normal cycle. You have to understand that you need to sit back. For those who are watching the stream, it might be very boring, but I'm just sharing what a realistic day, what a realistic morning in day trading will be like. Trade global. Even if you trade global right now, I mean, nothing else is open, right? You want to trade Hong Kong or whatnot. But at the same time, there's two arguments to this. One is you want to specialize in one market because nobody will be able to trade every single market. Nobody will be able to trade every single market well because you need to put in the time to observe and experience the market in each state. You can't trade it when it's hot and then when it's cold, you go away. You still got to sit through it and understand how the stocks move when market is cold. Because if if you don't know what a slow market is, you won't be able to tell what a hot market is as well. You need to experience both sides. So let's just have a slight look at a few forex pairs. So gold looks like it's consolidating. Definitely possible to get entries on the upside or downside for sure. So one thing I like about forex is that it's just pure technical analysis. Unlike Bursa, right? Bursa is a matter of trying to ride where the institutions are buying, identifying where the money is going into, right? And in some when the money is in, technicals don't matter at all. Technicals don't matter. Fundamentals don't matter. So Comark, huge green candle, huge red candle, probably gonna start flatlining from here on again. Another shitty stock. So Supermax could be a buy at 683 for a break of its day high. Target around probably 7 ringgit. So let's take a theoretical entry. Okay, let's say we enter right here 683, and our stop is probably around below if it breaks 680. So 679 or 678 will be our stop out. So about 4 to 5 cents of risk. Target would be around $7, around 697. So about 11-12 cents of we're looking for about 11 to 12 cents of upside. So about 697, 696, 697. Risking about 4 cents. So let's see how this trade will play out. I'm not playing because I know how choppy the gloves are. And I'm not willing to take this risk because I don't think it's worth. Notion is slowly pushing up, so this might be an entry. This might be I might attempt a small entry on this. 103. But very heavy resistance on 105. We'll see if I start to see the volume start to go to speed up, when I start to see volume speed up and also the order flow starts to move faster and clear the orders quicker. And at the same time, I want to see the buy orders start to stack up. Then maybe I'll try to enter at 103 for a small entry. Okay, maybe I'm gonna watch this closely. See if it has enough momentum to break through 103. Even though 105 seems to be quite a scary sight. So even if it breaks 105, right? I don't think I don't think it will be able to break through 110. So if I were to put an entry at 103, target will be around 108, 109. I mean, depends again on the order lah. Is there any confirmation for trade breakout? Or you can just buy a breakout stock? Confirmation is usually in the closing of the candle. So for example, usually this would be a good confirmation where the candle closes above the breakout level. But then again, even with confirmation, there's no definite win lah, right? It can close above and then come back down, for sure. What do you mean by, oh, can you just buy breakout stock? The confirmation is when it breaks the day high lah. Yeah. So the confirmation is when you start to see it clear 103. So there's a few things you want to see lah. One is increasing volume. You want to see the volume increase towards when it gets closer to the high of the day. And then you want to see it clear the selling. So you want to see clear the sell orders at high of the day. And then the speed of the order flow is also important. So how fast does the orders get cleared? Right? Does it go from like 6,000 orders to 3,000 to 1,000 to 0? Or does it go like 6,000 to 5,009, 5,008, 5,007? Like just now you saw a huge order pop in, right? So once it starts to clear, then you can start to find entry. So right here is a bit slow. Okay, there we go. Starting to clear. I put my entry in 500, 103. So let's see if we can break through 105. So that is the first key level. So that's the confirmation I wanted to see. Obviously, it's still not breaking as fast as I like it to break. Definitely not as strong as I like to see it, but still okay. Still, the volume is still coming in. Now, the second part of the trade I want to see is that more and more orders come in at 103. So that shows me two things. One, there are people who are interested in buying the stock. Second is that there's not enough selling to clear, to push the stock backwards. Then now we just want to look for follow through. You want to see 104 do the same thing. So how 103 got cleared earlier from 6,000, 3,000 to 2,000, 1,000. So I want to see the same thing on 104 from 7,000 down to 5,000, 4,000, 1,000, and move up to 105. So a bit of resistance, a bit of it's a bit slower now. Not surprised, just because most of the people will see a huge resistance at 105. So most of the traders will be a bit reluctant to enter due to this big resistance. But that's normal. People are just scared. So we'll most likely need some sort of big volume to come in to clear 104 first. So at this point, I'm not even watching the charts anymore. I'm just watching the orders. Watching for it to break 104. The volume is slowly dying off a bit. So we'll need to see more volume come in, break through 105. And then once it breaks through 105, I won't be surprised to see a slight retracement. Once it breaks 105, touches 106, and then it will come back down to about 104, 103. And then that's where the real test comes in to see whether it will continue upwards or not. So 104 resistance is building a bit more. 103, you can see the orders are thinning out a bit. So going to be a slight retracement here. Let's see if we can hold up. Let's see if we can maintain this 1 ringgit to 103 level. So a bit of retracement is fine. We can hold through this retracement. As long as it holds up this 1 ringgit level, then I'm willing to hold through it. So this is where your attention span and your patience will be tested. Most people, if they don't know what they're doing, those that just simply saw my breakout video and tried to play the breakouts, they'll start to panic around here. They'll be like, oh no, the internal clock starts to become impatient. And then they'll start to panic because, oh no, it's not breaking out. What do I do? Do I sell? Do I sell? Do I sell? But since we know the strategy, we'll just hold through and let it ride. If it fails, we just cut it. Doesn't matter if it fails or if it works, we just execute based on our plan. So right now, whether it goes up or goes down doesn't matter to me. My focus is if it hits my stop up point, I will stop up. That is my focus. Look at 104, 104 and 105 building some very, very, very heavy resistance. So I'm quite tempted to trim off a bit of my position now because the likelihood of it running upwards, the likelihood of it continuing is quite low now. So give it a few more minutes to see how it will react to this huge resistance. If it can continue breaking through 103, then won't be too worried. Seems like it's challenging 102 already. So what I want to see now is more orders coming in at 102 and start to see volume start to clear 103. Seems like it's not gonna happen right now. It's challenging 101 already. Again, another day of extremely weak breakouts. So seems like in our current market, short sellers are not just the short sellers, but I think most of the people who are usually long biased, either they've shifted to the short side or they're afraid of the short sellers, then that's why they hesitate to buy. And I think the collective effect of both of those fears, both the fear of buying and most of the traders moving towards the short side, is causing this very, very, very weak market. But I'm still gonna trade the way that I usually do, just smaller size. I'm still gonna follow the strategy because maybe it's just a coincidence that I'm running into a few losing streaks, right? And I don't want to make I don't want to decide that, oh, my strategy doesn't work anymore based on just a few losses. And because I know the statistics to this strategy, so I have no doubt that this strategy will still work in the long run, maybe just not in this current market. So extremely, extremely, extremely slow. Seems like the resistance is building more and more. Seems like this breakout didn't reach our TP either. So there you go. This is the type of price action you will get on gloves. So just very choppy, up a bit, down a bit, up a bit, down a bit, up a bit, down a bit. so choppy. So choppy. Okay, we reclaim 102. Let's see if this volume can come up. More and more volume. Let's get 400,000, 500,000 volume candles. Maybe this can push back above 103. Clear 104 and 105. It will be challenging. But we just ride the trade. No, I hope that you, instead of just thinking that I'm gonna hold this trade, I mean, from your perspective, right? I hope you don't hold this trade just because I'm holding it. You should hold it. I'm not saying you should hold it, but you should understand the strategy and why I'm holding it rather than just copying me. Yeah, it seems like we are really struggling to push above the 102, 103 level. 103 is such a thick resistance really. So if I get a chance to I might start to let go my position because the resistance is just getting way too thick. Okay, I cleared my position 102. Take a small loss, that's fine. But there's just way too much resistance, so especially in our current market, the probability of it continuing its run from here on is quite low. Unless we get like millions of volume over the next few candles, then the likelihood of it continuing is probably quite low already. And yes, I did take out my position slightly earlier than I usually would, but because of how heavy the resistance is, right, and the probability is all about the probability. So the probability of it moving upwards, the probability of it moving in our favor is quite low. So just gonna take off my position when the trade is not going my way. And sure, it could continue running later, but I'm not gonna hold it to anticipate it. Okay, let's do a quick sweep of any other potential stocks that are on the screener. What a rough start to the year. What a rough start to the month. Nothing seems to be working. But at least I sized down for my breakouts. Just based on the week's performance, right? I'll still trade it because I still need to trust in the strategy, trust in the numbers, trust in the statistics. But I lower my size just to control the emotions a bit. Just so it doesn't, so that I'm not too scared of taking the losses. Because the losses after losses after losses will affect your mindset for sure. 100% it will affect you. Even if you don't want it to, you can't control it. So for now, I'm just gonna keep observing Notion. Probably won't trade it. Everything else looks quite shit, to be honest. MTech with the most volume, but the price action was very up down up down up down. Right, very slow, choppy, up down up down up down. And this kind of price action triggers me, man. It's so ugly, so disgusting. So it looks like it's still bouncing around 102. So this definitely most likely did. Supermax eventually hit close to our TP, our original TP of 196,997. But whatever. It's kind of very slow movement. It's just I can't trade these kind of things. Not for me. Okay, so with nothing else left to watch, most likely gonna end the stream. If you have any stocks that you want me to look at, now's a good time to let me know in the chat. Don't think there will be any potential trades left today, especially on a Friday. So I might just close the market and just forget about it. If there's nothing, no questions, nothing, then make sure you're part of the trading Discord. First link in the description. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next Monday, as usual, 9 a.m. And have a good weekend.